Set down whatever you are holding right now. I need to see you urgently tonight. This is not a message you can save for tomorrow. If you ignore my voice tonight, you will wake up tomorrow with the exact same breaking body. And you will spend another year asking me to heal a pain that I am trying to remove from you right this very second. I know exactly how tired you are. I see the way you sit on the edge of the bed before the day even begins. You press your hand against your neck. You feel a heavy ache settling into your left shoulder. My weary one, you have been pushing through that pain for so long. You have told yourself it is just your age or your busy life, but it is not. I am telling you exactly what is happening to your flesh. I have watched this happen 10,000 times. Before this hour is over, you will finally understand why doctors cannot find the root of your exhaustion. You will feel that terrible grip on your shoulder loosen immediately, and you will know exactly how to awaken the new body I have already prepared for you. Do not let the noise of the world distract you from this moment. You are not watching this by accident. I place this in front of you because your physical heart has been crying out for relief. Type yes to set down what is hurting your body right now. I read every single word my children write. Leave your word there and stay with me. Let me describe a morning you have lived countless times. You sleep through the night, but you wake up entirely empty. Your jaw already tight before you speak a single word. You stand in the kitchen and rub your forehead, trying to gather enough energy just to face the people in your own house. A body that works hard in a field wakes up hungry, but your body wakes up defensive. You hide it incredibly well. You put on a brave smile and answer their questions. You say you are fine, when the truth is far too heavy to hand to anyone else. And nobody in that house knows what it costs you to keep moving. They only see the version of you that handles everything. They never see the version of you that quietly weeps in the shower. You have drawn a terrible conclusion from this exhaustion. You have told yourself that your body is simply failing you. You look in the mirror and whisper that you are getting old. You have called yourself weak in a voice you would never use on a friend. Hear me right now. That is a lie. You are not weak. You have never been weak. Here is the hidden truth no one has told you. Your physical exhaustion does not come from the work you do. It comes from the weight you were never given. You have been carrying the emotional burdens of everyone around you. You absorb their anger and their panic. I am going to name this so you can never unsee it. This is the borrowed load. Your body keeps what your heart refuses to set down. An unspoken grief does not just disappear into the air. It relocates into your muscles and your bones. That stiffness in your neck is not a medical mystery. It is a physical reaction to carrying a spiritual debt that was never yours to pay. You are hauling luggage that belongs to other people. Look back at the past 5 years with me. Those years you have called your failing years were not failures at all. You were not breaking down. You were hauling enormous spiritual weight. Every morning you woke up and picked up bags of worry for your family. A loaded soul that keeps walking is not defective. She is incredibly faithful. I saw your faithfulness the entire time, but I never asked you to be the savior of your family. So tonight, I am asking you to do one small thing. Before you go to sleep, ask yourself if I handed you that specific worry. If the answer is no, drop it. Drop it right there on the floor. Putting down what I never gave you is not a sin. It is obedience. Your flesh is desperately waiting for this permission. The moment you stop carrying their bags, your own blood will flow differently. That is the first step toward the new body I promised you. A new body is not a magic trick. It is what happens when a crushed spirit is finally allowed to breathe. I am breathing that fresh air into your lungs right now. Notice what is happening in your chest right at this moment. You did not decide to feel that sudden warmth. It arrived before your thinking could even catch up. That is my spirit, responding to your willingness to stay. Every minute you remain here is pulling another heavy layer off your bones. Do not walk away while the work is still happening. We are only at the beginning of this restoration. I have named the borrowed load that is crushing your shoulders, but there is a second weight hiding even deeper inside your flesh. It is a weight you have carried since you were a small child. I am going to pull that root out next. Keep your eyes open and listen to my next words. There is a specific hour in the middle of the night that you have come to know too well. Somewhere around 3 in the morning, your eyes open on their own. Nothing in the room made a sound. Nothing woke you up. You just lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling an impossible weight pressing down on your chest. You pull the blanket up. You try to pray, but your mind feels completely shattered. You get out of bed and walk to the kitchen. You pour a glass of water and stand by the sink in the dark. You do not even drink it. You just hold the cold glass, looking out the window, wondering how you are going to survive another day of this crushing exhaustion. You feel like a hollow shell of the person you used to be. The energy that once carried you through difficult seasons has simply vanished. You are running on empty. I know the cruel sentences you whisper to yourself in those quiet moments. You tell yourself that you are failing. You think you have become lazy, ungrateful, or lacking in faith. You look at other people who seem to handle their lives so easily, and you wonder what is wrong with you. You apologize to me in your prayers. You ask for forgiveness for being so tired. My beloved child, stop apologizing to me. You have been acting as a ruthless judge in a courtroom inside your own mind. You serve as the judge, the witness, and the accused all at the same time. I never called that court into session. I never banged a gavel and demanded more effort from you. The condemnation you feel does not come from my throne. It comes from an enemy who wants you to believe that your physical exhaustion is a spiritual failure. It is not a failure. Hear my voice clearly right now. You are not failing bodily, my child. You are carrying weights I never assigned you. Your physical frame was perfectly designed, but it was designed to carry your own life, not the lives of 5 other people. What you are experiencing is not a sickness of your soul. It is a severe overloading of your capacity. And tonight, I am removing these weights so your true strength can return. The noise of the world loves to disguise overload as a lack of faith. It wants you to believe that if you just prayed harder, the pain in your neck and shoulders would magically disappear. So you force yourself to read more. You force yourself to serve everyone around you. You pour from a cup that has been bone dry for years, and when you finally collapse, the noise whispers that you disappointed heaven. I am tearing down that lie tonight. There is a massive difference between a body that is breaking and a body that is buried. You are not breaking. You are buried under an invisible, heavy blanket. This blanket is made of unspoken expectations, unresolved family conflicts, and responsibilities you absorbed without ever being asked. I have a specific name for this heavy blanket. I will reveal it to you shortly, and the moment you hear it, your entire history will make perfect sense. You have spent years treating the symptom, trying to fix your tiredness with rest that never works. Sleep does not heal this kind of exhaustion. A vacation does not fix it either, because wherever you go, you pack the invisible weight and take it with you. You unpack it in the hotel room. You sit on the beach and your mind still races with worry. Physical rest cannot cure a spiritual crushing. Only my hands can cure it. I was there in the car with you last Tuesday. You sat in your driveway with the engine turned off. You stared at the steering wheel for 4 full minutes before you finally opened the door to go inside. You were gathering the last tiny drops of energy you had left, just to walk into your own house and pretend everything was fine. No one in your family saw that. I saw it. I felt the ache forming in your throat. You do not have to put on a brave face for me. You do not have to assemble your broken pieces before you approach my throne. I prefer your messy, exhausted truth over a polite, religious performance. The tears you hold back in front of your family are precious to me. Let them fall. Allow yourself to be entirely weak in my presence. Weakness is not the opposite of faith. It is the birthplace of miracles. Do not walk away from this encounter. What we are doing right now is surgery on your spirit. If you leave the table before the procedure is finished, you will walk away with an open wound. Stay right here with me. I am about to expose the exact mechanism that has been stealing your vitality. I am going to show you the load that is bending your spine, and I will teach you exactly how to drop it. Breathe deeply. Notice how the air feels entering your lungs. The restoration has already begun. The heavy fog that has clouded your mind for months is starting to thin out. You are safe here. You are completely understood here. Keep listening to my words, because the very next thing I say will unlock a door you have been pushing against for a decade. Prepare your heart to receive. The weight is about to fall. I know the exact thought rising in your mind right now. You are thinking you have heard promises like this before. You have knelt and prayed for your physical health 100 times. You built the strict discipline and kept your healthy routines for months. and then you completely collapsed again. You feel like you have tried absolutely everything. You are deeply tired of hoping for a miracle that never comes. You are telling me the truth. I will not argue with your own painful history. You lived through every agonizing hour of it, and I was sitting right there in the quiet room with you for every single hour. I saw the desperate tears you wiped away before anyone else could see them. I watched you force yourself to stand up when your legs felt like solid lead. You did not give up easily. But hear the profound difference today, my child. What you tried to change was merely your outward behavior. You asked me to give you more strength so you could carry the heavy bags. But asking for more strength to carry luggage that does not belong to you will break any human frame. Human strength is designed to run out. It was never meant to hold a crushing weight for a whole decade. You did not fail. You worked incredibly hard on the wrong layer of your life. There is a massive difference between a person who refuses to walk and a person who has been walking with a heavy stone in his shoe. Sit down with me right now. Let me pull that sharp stone out. Let me describe the terrible pain you wake up with every single morning. You sleep for 8 solid hours, but you open your eyes and your neck is completely rigid. You stand up and a sharp ache shoots down your upper back. Your shoulders feel like they are made of stiff iron. You stare at the bathroom mirror and feel a terrifying emptiness behind your own eyes. You are chronically exhausted before the sun even rises. This is not the normal tiredness of a person who worked hard. A body that works hard in a field goes to sleep deeply and wakes up hungry. Your body wakes up completely defensive. You drag yourself to the kitchen like a soldier returning from a silent war. You sip your coffee and wonder how you're going to survive the next 12 hours. And you do this every single day. You have explained this severe pain to yourself so logically. You have said that you are simply getting older. You have decided that your physical body is finally failing you. You look at younger people and whisper that your best years are entirely gone. You judge your physical frame without any mercy. You even apologize to people for not having enough energy to join their busy events. My beloved child, those logical explanations are completely wrong. The word weak has never fit you. You have carried other people through massive storms that you barely survived yourself. A weak soul does not do that. You are not physically broken. Because that cruel word is wrong, everything you built on top of it is also wrong. You have misdiagnosed your own pain. Here is the hidden truth no one has ever told you, and I will tell you now. Extreme exhaustion does not come from the weight you were given. It comes from the crushing weight you were never given. Somewhere along the difficult way, you began to carry heavy things I never placed in your hands. Your spirit accepted a job that was never yours to do. You carry your grown child and their difficult decisions. You carry the bitter anger of your sibling. You carry the deep disappointment of your parents, which was old before you were even born. You carry the emotional chaos of your friends. You carry another person and their dark mood just like a man carrying water in his bare arms. He gets completely soaked. He spills the water the whole way, and he never actually arrives at the destination. I am going to give this a specific name tonight so you can never unsee it. This is the borrowed load. It has your fingerprints all over it, but it was never yours. You picked it up because you have a beautiful and loving heart, but your flesh was not designed to carry the spiritual debts of other people. Your bones are groaning under a burden I never authorized you to bear. Now look back at your past 10 years with me. Look back gently. Those long years you have called your failing years were not failures. You were not breaking down. You were hauling. Every morning you woke up and picked up heavy bags that belonged to other people. And every night you stood in cruel judgment over yourself for walking so slowly. You criticized your own pace while carrying their luggage. You were never lazy. You were desperately overloaded. And a heavily loaded soul that keeps walking is not weak. She is profoundly faithful. I saw your fierce faithfulness the entire time, even when all you could see was how far behind you had fallen. You did not fail to be strong. You were simply protecting a deep wound that no one ever tended. You kept them safe while you slowly bled out. So today, I ask something very small of you. Not a grand vow, not a massive life transformation. I want you to ask yourself one simple question before you pick anything up tomorrow morning. Did my father hand me this? Ask it, at the kitchen sink. Ask it before you answer the ringing phone. And when the quiet answer is no, set it down. Set it down without making a long speech and without any polite apology. Putting down what I never gave you is not abandonment. It is radical obedience. Begin with just one thing tomorrow. Just one. That is entirely enough for me. The moment you drop the borrowed load, your physical body will begin to heal. The terrible stiffness in your neck will slowly melt away. The breath will return to your exhausted lungs. You may set it down. Type the words, "The burden was not mine," in the comments below. Declare it tonight and drop the weight forever. I want to show you another room in your life. You are sitting at a table with people you love. Someone says a careless sentence that cuts you deeply. You feel the sharp sting in your chest immediately. But you look around the busy room and you force your own face to stay completely calm while your heart breaks. You swallow the tears down, you smile for them, and you choose to say absolutely nothing. You bury your true reaction just to keep the fragile peace. You push the deep hurt down into your stomach. Later that night, you wash the dishes in complete silence, and you wonder why your body feels completely drained. You feel a sudden tightness gripping your lower back. Your head begins to throb with a dull ache. You assume you are just tired from a long evening. But the tiredness has nothing to do with the physical work. You have a very noble explanation for this silent suffering. You tell yourself that you are doing the right thing for your family. You believe that holding your tongue makes you the strong one. You think that swallowing your pain protects the people you care about from unnecessary and destructive conflict. You call yourself the reliable peacemaker of the house. Hear me closely today. Keeping a toxic peace is not the same thing as making true peace. You are not protecting your family by hiding your deep wounds. You are simply taking the violent energy of their careless words and absorbing it directly into your own flesh. I never asked you to be a human shield for other people. That silent endurance is quietly destroying you. Here is the profound truth about how I designed your human frame. An unspoken grief does not just evaporate into the thin air. The pain you refuse to speak out loud does not magically disappear. It relocates. Your physical body keeps what your heart refuses to set down. Your sensitive flesh absorbs the massive shock of every deeply buried tear. I am going to give this hidden burden a specific name right now. You must hear this clearly so you can finally begin to heal. This is the unspoken weight. It is the heavy collection of every sentence you swallowed to make someone else comfortable. It is a physical storage room built out of silent apologies you never received. Now I want you to look back at your mysterious bodily pains. For years you have visited different doctors to find out exactly why your joints ache constantly without any clear reason. They run their complicated tests and tell you that everything looks completely normal. You leave the bright clinic feeling crazy and immensely frustrated. But the doctors cannot see the spiritual weight pressing against your fragile bones. Those years of chronic pain were not a medical mystery at all. Your body was simply telling the loud truth that your mouth refused to speak. You were not aging faster than you should have been. You were becoming a living graveyard for unsaid words. A human body cannot possibly heal while it is busy functioning as a locked vault for deep emotional trauma. Think about the mornings when you could barely get out of bed. You blamed yourself for lacking simple discipline. You promised yourself you would exercise more and eat better. But absolutely no amount of healthy food or strict discipline can cure a heart that is choking on silenced anger. Your flesh was begging you to release the unfair burden. It was pleading with you to stop playing the brave victim. I saw every single word you held back. I was sitting right beside you at that dinner table when the cruel joke was made. I felt the physical blow strike your spirit, and I watched you silently pack the agonizing pain into your tense shoulders. You did not fail. But your noble silence has cost you your vibrant physical health. I saw every single tear. I heard it all. You were never ignored. You do not have to hold this heavy vault shut anymore. The iron lock is breaking today. Your bones are going to remember what freedom actually feels like. The beautiful healing is starting in your tight muscles right now. I am not asking you to confront anyone tomorrow morning. I do not want you to start a massive war in your house. I am asking for something much simpler and infinitely more powerful. Tonight, when the house is finally quiet and everyone else is asleep, I want you to open your mouth. I want you to speak the exact words you swallowed. Speak them directly to me. Do not censor your deep pain when we talk in the dark. Tell me how much that careless comment hurt your heart. Tell me how angry you are about the difficult things you had to endure. Let the sound of your own voice fill the empty room. When you finally speak the buried pain out loud in the safety of my presence, you remove it from your bones. Your bodily healing begins with your true voice. This is how the heavy sickness leaves your physical frame. You do not need a complicated medical plan to start this specific recovery. You just need the immense courage to stop hiding your wounds from me. I am the great physician, and I work with the honest truth. Give me your raw honesty tonight, and watch how your sleeping body finally finds deep rest. Remember the borrowed load and the unspoken weight I just named for you. I want you to see exactly what your daily life looks like on the beautiful other side of them. Come with me to a quiet morning, very soon to come. It is an ordinary weekday, and the early sky is completely calm outside your window. You wake up long before your alarm even makes a sound, because your body is finally resting. You open your eyes, and your mind is absolutely silent. You sit up and your feet easily find the cold floor without any painful argument. You walk softly to the kitchen and pour yourself a warm cup of water. You stand by the quiet window with the glass resting gently against your open palm, and you do not brace your fragile body for a sudden disaster because the terrible fear has left you. Your neck is completely loose. Your shoulders stay exactly where they naturally belong, and your breathing is slow and remarkably deep. Notice what is beautifully missing from this specific morning. The terrible tightening behind your ribs is simply not there anymore. You do not frantically run through a mental list of everyone else and their daily problems. You do not feel the familiar heavy dread dropping into your tired stomach. And the absolute silence in the empty house does not frighten you at all, because you finally know you are safe. You are completely secure in the healing quiet. That peaceful person standing by the bright window is not a silly fantasy. She is not a distant dream being assembled out of impossible magic. That healthy version of you already exists. She is standing right on the other side of the heavy things you are still desperately holding. The profound distance between you and that beautiful morning is not measured by time. It is measured by the holy permission you give yourself to let go. Permission is not something you passively wait to be handed by someone else. It is a bold choice you make out loud in a completely empty room. You give yourself the clear permission to finally set the heavy bags down forever. Make that exact choice tonight while I am speaking to you. The healing morning I just showed you is already walking toward you right now. It is eagerly waiting for you to drop the massive load. But I know exactly what the noise of the world is whispering to you right now. The lying noise is desperately trying to convince you that this deep peace is completely impossible for someone like you. It tells you that you have been carrying the heavy pain for far too long. It lies and says your body is permanently broken, and your mind will always be violently restless. Do not listen to the destructive noise. The noise is not your friend. The noise is a cruel thief that feeds heavily on your constant exhaustion. It wants you to stay incredibly busy, so you never realize you are actually allowed to rest. It uses your deep love for your family as a heavy weapon against your own physical health. But I am violently silencing that destructive noise in your house tonight. I am drawing a firm boundary around your fragile spirit. The enemy does not get to keep breaking my beautiful vessel. You have endured the bitter season of silent crushing for many long years. You have paid a massive price for a heavy debt you never even owed. I am telling you tonight that the long season of carrying other people is definitively over. A brilliant new season is fiercely pushing its way into your daily life right now. You can literally feel the heavy atmosphere shifting. I am actively restoring the broken pieces of your physical frame while you sit and listen to my voice. The fresh energy you lost 10 years ago is slowly returning to your tired bones. I am replacing the constant anxiety with a profound and unshakable stillness. The heavy fog is lifting from your exhausted mind permanently. You are stepping into a vibrant reality where your body is no longer a painful prison. I want you to boldly claim this new reality before we go any further. If you believe I am healing your deep exhaustion right now, I want you to declare it. Type the words "I receive my rest" in the comments below. Type it as a fierce declaration against the lying noise that tried to break you. Leave your words there and let your heart truly mean every single letter. Do not skip this vital step. You are standing on the very edge of a massive spiritual breakthrough. The agonizing waiting period is completely finished. The heavy stones you carried for decades are finally crumbling into useless dust. I need your full and undivided attention for what is coming next. The most important revelation of this entire night is about to be spoken clearly. Gather your tired focus and prepare your open spirit. The great and final release is standing right at your front door. You are about to understand exactly what the new body actually means. Stay with me. Do not look away. I am completely ready to open the vault. Let me look at the quiet moments you actively avoid. You used to sit and talk with me for hours. Now you keep yourself constantly moving. You fill your daily schedule with endless and exhausting tasks. You leave the television on late into the night just to have some background noise. When you finally sit down to pray, your mind goes completely blank. You immediately stand up to wash another dish or fold more laundry. You feel entirely too exhausted to speak to me. You avoid the silent rooms in your own house. You think that sitting still will force you to face the massive emptiness inside your chest. You isolate yourself from my presence because you feel totally empty. You assume that your extreme physical tiredness makes you unworthy of my holy attention. So you just stay away and suffer in silence. I know exactly how you judge yourself for this distance. You look at your scattered prayer life and you feel deeply ashamed. You tell yourself that your faith has grown completely cold. You believe that because you are avoiding me, I have firmly decided to turn my back on you. You actually think my current silence is a harsh punishment for your lack of spiritual discipline. You think I am ignoring you because you ignored me first. You measure my profound love through the lens of human transactional behavior. My beloved child, that is a devastating lie. I do not operate like the fickle people who abandoned you. My silence is never an angry withdrawal. I am not punishing you for being physically and mentally exhausted. I am deeply moved by your quiet suffering. Here is the vital truth that changes absolutely everything. Your constant busyness is just a fragile shelter you built to hide from the terrifying silence. But I am the one who orchestrated this quiet season. I intentionally stopped sending you new opportunities and busy assignments. If I gave you one more thing to do right now, your physical body would absolutely shatter into pieces. I forcefully removed the chaotic noise from your daily life so you could finally rest. I brought your endless running to a complete and sudden stop. I am going to give this protective season a specific name so you can clearly understand it. This is the merciful halt. It feels exactly like rejection to your anxious mind, but it is actually my fierce and jealous protection. Now I want you to look closely at the last 3 months. Think about the exciting doors that suddenly closed in your face. Think about the important projects that unexpectedly stalled. Remember the intense isolation you felt when people stopped calling you. You cried because you thought I was locking you out of your promised blessings. But you read the entire situation completely wrong. I was not locking you out of anything good. I was locking you inside a safe room so you would finally drop the heavy bags. I was actively withdrawing the chaotic demands so your overloaded nervous system could stop bracing for impact. The merciful halt was the only way to save your physical frame from complete destruction. I loved you entirely too much to let you keep running blindly. This brings us to the great restoration I promised you from the very beginning. The new body I am giving you tonight is not a magical illusion. It is exactly what happens when I pull the burning fuse out of your old traumas. It is a physical frame that no longer reacts to fake emergencies. Your flesh is finally realizing that the brutal emotional war is completely over. Hear my voice where you make your deepest decisions. You are not failing bodily, my child. You are carrying weights I never assigned you. And tonight I am removing them completely so your true strength can return. I am taking the old panic right out of your bones. I am commanding the chronic tension to leave your tired neck in this exact moment. Lift your heavy head right now. The terrible season of the borrowed load is entirely dead. You will no longer jump every time the phone rings. You will no longer absorb the bitter anger of the people around you. I am sealing your spirit against the toxic demands of the outside world. Your energy belongs to you again. I declare that your physical restoration is happening immediately. So here is your only assignment for tomorrow morning. When the old panic tries to wake you up early, do not fight it. Just lie still in your warm bed and whisper 2 simple words. Say that you rest. Say it out loud into the quiet room. The merciful halt has done its holy work in your fragile flesh. Step into your new body and breathe the fresh air. Let me speak plainly to you right now. I want to remove every single metaphor so you can see the absolute truth. You have been carrying massive responsibilities that were never assigned to you. You measured your own worth by how well you could carry other people. Because that heavy load was never yours, you could never carry it perfectly. Because you could not carry it perfectly, you falsely concluded that you were the problem. You were never the problem. The brutal assignment was completely wrong. That is the plain truth about your deep exhaustion. You do not need better medicine or a stricter daily routine. You desperately need to resign from a terrible job I never gave you. I am not saying these words to every single person listening tonight. I am saying this directly to the one who hides their tears in the shower. I am speaking to the one who takes care of everyone else and receives absolutely nothing in return. That is who this urgent message is for. That is who I have been chasing since the very first second. There is a severe warning attached to this profound revelation. I told you at the beginning that if you ignore me, I will ignore you too. You need to understand exactly what that intense warning actually means. I will never abandon you or turn my loving back on you, but I will absolutely ignore the polite and fake prayers you offer me while you are secretly bleeding out. I will completely ignore your desperate requests for more strength to carry the toxic bags. I will not fund your slow self-destruction. If you choose to ignore my urgent command and pick up the heavy baggage tomorrow, you will carry it alone. The noise of the world will happily let you work yourself into an early grave. That is not a cruel punishment from me. It is the devastating natural consequence of refusing my rescue. Look honestly at the agonizing cost of living another year under that terrible weight. The true cost is not some sudden disaster that makes the evening news. It is paid quietly in the beautiful things you slowly stop expecting. You will lose your soft joy. You will lose your precious ability to sit still in a quiet room without feeling absolute panic. I am warning you about a destructive habit that is quietly killing your physical body. You have been waiting for me to magically change your difficult circumstances. You wanted me to make the demanding people in your life suddenly become incredibly grateful, but I do not force human hearts to change against their stubborn will. I change the beautiful person who is actively bleeding out. I change you, and that profound change requires your willing participation tonight. What comes next is going to sound exactly like the end. The quiet voice will slow down. The heavy words will get much shorter. But that is not the end, my beloved child. It is the very doorway you have been begging to find. The last thing I kept is still resting safely in my hands. It is handed over on the other side of the quiet part. Do not close your eyes and walk away just yet. You have a critical choice to make before this night is completely over. I am putting the true agency back into your tired hands. Tomorrow morning, when the old guilt tries to make you pick up their heavy problems, you must consciously refuse. You must literally open your physical hands and let the invisible bags fall. Do not explain your healthy choice to the people who demand your endless energy. Do not write a long apology message. Just step back and let them carry their own natural consequences. This feels incredibly dangerous to a sensitive heart that is addicted to fixing broken things, but it is the only way your crushed bones will ever find true healing. Right now, you are simply someone who heard a powerful message. In a few short moments, you can become someone who actually claimed it. Those are two entirely different people. The second person is much harder for the enemy to defeat in the morning. This is not some strange religious ritual. It is simply how your own human spirit has always worked. I am not asking you for any massive promises tonight. I am definitely not keeping a strict ledger of your failures. I am asking you to make a public choice, because a truth that stays locked inside your head can still be argued with. A truth that you write down in the open becomes a solid wall against the lying noise. Get your anxious mind completely ready. The merciful halt has officially stopped the terrible bleeding. You understand the profound difference between a borrowed load and a true calling. You know exactly why I brought you to this specific room tonight. Now you must seal the heavy door firmly behind you. Stay here and listen to the final blessing. I told you there was one last thing I kept for the very end. I told you that you would receive it after the heavy words were finished. The teaching is completely over now. What remains is only between the two of us. I want to speak to you exactly the way a father speaks to his exhausted child at the end of a very long day. Let the heavy words rest. Here is the final secret I kept holding for you. The beautiful new body I promised you is not a completely different physical frame. It is your very own body, finally living without the crushing spiritual debt of other people. Your immense strength was never actually gone. It was just entirely occupied with holding the heavy door shut for everyone else. The moment you let that heavy door close, your profound energy returns to its true assignment. You will stop using your precious life force to shield people from their own natural consequences. That is the absolute reality of your physical restoration. I want to show you exactly what this restored life looks like. Come with me, one season forward. Picture a quiet morning in the gentle season ahead. You are walking through your own house. You are moving at a completely different pace. You walk past the ringing phone, and your stomach does not drop in panic. You stand in the center of the bright kitchen and realize your shoulders are entirely relaxed. The painful iron grip on your neck is forever gone. Notice what is beautifully missing from that ordinary morning. The desperate need to fix every broken situation is simply not there anymore. You do not feel the terrible urge to apologize for simply existing. You sit down at the bright table with a warm cup in your hands, and you finally pick up the wonderful plans you abandoned 5 long years ago. You left those beautiful plans behind because you thought you lacked the energy to build anything new. But you were never lacking the necessary energy. You were just spending all of it on the borrowed load. That healthy person sitting at the table is absolutely real. She is standing right on the beautiful other side of your brave obedience today. The profound distance between you and that table is not measured by time. It is measured by the clear boundaries you draw tomorrow morning. Do not try to fix everything at once. Just let one heavy bag fall to the floor. Let someone else carry their own difficult burden for a single day. The magnificent morning I just showed you will arrive immediately. You came into this sacred room tonight carrying a profound weight. You had completely stopped noticing how badly it was hurting your fragile bones. But you are not walking out of this quiet room with it. What you are walking out with instead is much smaller and infinitely better. You are walking out with the absolute knowledge that you are fiercely loved. Your profound exhaustion was never a cruel punishment. The merciful halt was the very thing that saved your beautiful life. I am wrapping my protective arms around your tired spirit right now. Let the gentle warmth completely fill your healing chest. The brutal season of chronic pain and silent suffering is officially over. Your true strength is returning. You will no longer translate yourself into something smaller so that toxic people can be comfortable. You will say the true thing first. You will boldly let other people adjust to your healthy boundaries. And this profound healing will not stop with you alone. The younger ones in your family line will learn how to live freely by watching your brave example, my steady one. That is exactly what I am doing in your life tonight. I am resetting your foundation so you can finally stand tall. The heavy teaching is entirely finished. The dark room is bathed in bright light. Now I am asking you to do one physical thing before you turn off the screen. Make a public declaration of your brand new season. Do not just listen to these holy words and quietly walk away. When you write something down where others can read it, you firmly stop being someone who just heard a message. You fiercely become someone who actually claimed a miracle. That physical action locks the profound truth into your bones. It makes it much harder for the enemy to steal your peace tomorrow. Type the exact words "My new season begins" in the comments below. Type it boldly and let this entire place know you faithfully stayed to the very end. Leave your powerful declaration right there as a permanent monument to your healing. I always read what my precious children write in the quiet dark. Let me see your fierce agreement with my holy promise. The long and painful wait is completely over. Walk forward in your beautiful new body. Rise.